One thing that's very important about stereotypes is they're very resistant to change. So here I am on my pulpit and I'm preaching to you. I'm preaching to you about stereotypes. What about my stereotypes? So let me tell you about my stereotypes. Many years ago, my wife and I moved to a new community. And we needed a doctor. So we asked her OBGYN in the old community. He said, oh, I know a doctor's doctor over there. You got to see Jeff Galpin. So I go to see this. It takes me 6 weeks to get in for a physical to see this guy. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting in the waiting room for 45 minutes. And then I'm waiting in the back room for 30 minutes. So I'm starting to get really angry. And all of a sudden I hear this dragging. And then this patient on crutches sticks his head in and walks out. I said, what is that idiot doing? Can't the man have any privacy? That idiot was Dr. Jeffrey Galpin. Dr. Galpin is a doctor's doctor. He got polio as a child and dedicated his life to studying and fighting disease, and he's on the medical school staff at UCLA, lectures all around the world. Okay, so I told you stereotypes are difficult to change, right? They're really hard to change. So I like to hear speakers. See, what can I learn from what that person, that man or that woman did? How can I make myself better? So I hear about this speaker. I was working in Washington, D.C. So I go to the meeting, and I get there like around 11:30, and I sign up, and I say, is there time to get a bite before they're going to go on? They say, absolutely. So I run down the sidewalk to an Italian deli. And I'm coming back, really hurrying, and I see this guy sitting in a wheelchair. And he's unshaven, and he's dirty. He's sleeping, he's got his hat in his lap, and he's begging. And I got so angry. I said, can't this idiot learn from Dr. Galpin? Why can't he make something out of his life? And I thought of the term that disabled people hate, handicap. Quick with the cap, quick to beg. Run back, sit down in the audience, about 2,000 people, lights come on. Who's the speaker?
The guy.
Guy in the wheelchair. He'd had his legs cut off in Australia as a child in a train accident. And he'd become a champion pilot and really interesting guy, great speaker. And I'll never forget in his speech, he said, you know, I'm from Australia, I love the sun, and at midday I go out on the sidewalk and I take my hat off and I fall asleep. He said, it's the damnedest thing. When I wake up, my cap's full of money. Who would do such a thing? Andy Ehrlich, excuse me, Dr. Andy Ehrlich, author about cross-cultural interactions, expert on stereotyping. It's not whether you stereotype or you don't. You do, I do, everybody does. It's a question if you're working on them and trying, struggling with those stereotypes.